Good morning. It's 9 a.m. Wednesday, October 29th. Welcome to AM Northwest, live from the KATU Television Center. And now, here are your hosts, Jim Bosley and Mary Starrett.
Okay, I want to introduce a gentleman now. We're going to talk about drugs. This man, very popular around the Northwest, around the world, but he's a Northwest man. He's wrestling around this country, or this part of the country, for a lot of years, has all kinds of championship belts, all kinds of broken bones and stitches and scars and all kinds of things. Now he's very involved in, there he is, recognize that guy? I'd like to meet him. Now he's very involved in a drug crusade program, and get the kids off of it, get the parents away from it, wise everybody up. Would you please welcome the one and only, and he is, Mr. Dutch Savage.
Morning, Jim.
How are you?
Fine.
Have a seat.
Thank you.
Do you walk slower today?
Yes.
Does the weather affect the old injuries?
Every day. Yes.
Tell me about the old injuries, and well, it's only an hour show, that's why, you know. But
Well, I've had over 400 sutures in my body. I've got 32 hairline fractures in my left ankle alone. I'm arthritic, degenerative. I have chronic tendonitis, and the old injuries are always there. I've got kidney problems because of the drugs I used over my career, and bladder problems. I'll go to the bathroom sometimes 25, 30 times a day. It's not any fun, simply because of the drugs I used. A lot of the injuries I incurred were drug-induced. Didn't know I was injured.
did you play hurt? Did you wrestle hurt? You must have.
Constantly.
And part of it, you rationalized it because you were on drugs during part of your career anyway. Tell me this, looking back over the wrestling part of your days, was that great fun, great sport, great money? Was it everything, or were you sometimes too drugged out to even know what you were doing?
Well, the first 5 years, being a jock fresh out of college, able to leap tall buildings in a single bound, it was fun. It was kicking the seat because I was going all over the country. And then the next 5 years, going into my 10th year, I started slowing down a little bit more because my pain tolerance kept getting lower, because we're in the ring 365 days a year, 7 nights a week. We take our injuries home with us. You don't see those. As you start getting older, your body starts sending you messages. So to make up for the bumps and the bruises and the strains and the breaks that you don't know you have, you start popping things. Beer doesn't get it done anymore. Marijuana doesn't get it done anymore. You have to start in the cocaines, the Percodans, Valiums, etc.
You were quoted way back when as saying, "Don't trust anybody but yourself." And when asked your greatest asset, you said, "I am my greatest asset. I don't ask for any assistance from anyone else. Anything that there is for me to be done, I have the power to do it." Have you changed your tune at all?
Yes, I was also the greatest jerk in the entire world. I found out the me syndrome doesn't get it done on this planet, folks. We're so involved with me first, you later, that we've taught it to our kids. And a lot of us are under the misnomer that what we do doesn't wear off on our children. They learn on their own how to develop their personalities. That's not the truth. They're mirror images of us. And I got tired of being the world's #1 jerk and decided to turn my life around.
You turned your life around. Now you're trying to help others turn their life around when it comes to drugs. Tell us about the program you're working with.
The program we have is called the Listen Program. It's a preventative medicine type of a program. We work primarily from the 4th grade through the 7th grade. That's our target area. We'd also work the remainder of the middle schools. The freshman is a freshman in high school. The 9th graders are a target area too, plus the rest of high school and college. Preventative medicine is very simple, folks. We don't make it too academic for the young, finite mind to understand. When I go into a 4th grade classroom and a 5th grade classroom, I talk like a 4th and 5th graders because those kids can understand it. They don't have PhDs. They don't have Bachelor of Science degrees. You parrot information on percentages into them, they're going to eat you up. They'd say, "Well, I don't know what you're talking about, Mr. Savage." But if we can get a kid in simple demonstrations to show them what the effects of ethyl alcohol, ethanol on their body, of tetrahydrocannabinol, delta-9, that's the stuff that's in marijuana, and a few other things in simpler forms, boy, they grab on it. And it's a real kick in the seat how intelligent your young people are out there, folks.
You must have asked yourself this question many times over the career in which you've tried to help people kick drugs and alcohol. What is the reason? Is there one reason why there seems to be such a problem now, not only with our children, but with ourselves?
Well, we've been teaching this for about 38 years, the Listen program. I've only been involved in about 4 years, and some of the things that we're parroting in the classrooms and in general assemblies in various schools, they're now starting to come out in the newspaper with, so that makes it official. The problem with drugs in this country, folks, is not the problem with drugs. You see, drugs don't do themselves. People do drugs. It's not a drug problem this nation has. It is a people problem. We have to learn not to do drugs. If we do, our kids, our next generation that are following us, they're going to start picking up on the monkey see, monkey do routine.
Do we teach our kids that because we drink and it's okay to drink, and then they say, well, then it's okay to smoke pot, and it's okay to do whatever?
I don't know whether, Jim, you ever heard this or not when you were younger. Now, look, young man, as long as you live under my roof, I don't want to ever catch you taking a puff off a cigarette. Do you understand me, boy? And if I catch you with a corncob pipe or anything like that, don't want to see you around this house doing that. Do you understand? I'm an adult, and I can afford to do this because I'm grown up. Now, here's $1.50. Go down to the store and get me a pack of Pall Malls.
Yeah, I kind of remember it was something like that. You know?
We do teach our kids by beholding, they become changed. It's extremely simple. If you don't want your kids to do drugs, folks, change your prerogatives. Too many people on the planet are afraid to give up something to gain something, like their children's respect.
From your own experience, Dutch, parents, I won't say moms, I'll say parents at home, will take something like Valium, because it just helps them get through the day. They may not equate that with marijuana or cocaine, but are you saying drugs are drugs or drugs are drugs? And the kid sees you do aspirin, I don't know, maybe not aspirin, but let's say a Valium. Does he think, well, then if I do this, that's the same thing? Are you teaching by taking Valium?
No, you're not really teaching by taking Valium. If it's a prescription from a doctor's office that you're supposed to be taking, if you're just hooked on the stuff and can't get off it, that's a different question. But we teach kids it's okay to take drugs that doctors prescribe as long as you take them as they're prescribed. Take 2 a day, 3 times a day. When you're finished with it looks like it's getting better, bring him back in, we'll check him out, put the drugs away. And please don't put the drugs or the Valium or the codeines or whatever back on the medicine cabinet shelf. It says on there, keep out of the reach of children. When they're finished with the drug, please flush them down the toilet. That way they're not around. Don't give me this old cop-out, well, I'm going to keep him until he gets the same illness again. That's a bunch of baloney.
Is it okay to have a drink? Is it okay to smoke a little marijuana? Is it okay to smoke cigarettes? Will that necessarily result in an addiction?
Boy, am I going to get a lot of flack for this one. General rule of thumb on this planet, how people get started in drugs. First, they pick up a cigarette, and after the cigarette, they pick up a beer. Cigarette and a beer leads to the harder drugs because you don't stay off of the two substances forever. Nicotine's very volatile. Ethyl alcohol is very volatile, does genetic damage. Prerequisites for a person to start in drugs is generally cigarettes, to tobacco, to alcohol, to the harder drugs. Now, no, it's not good to drink alcohol. Ethyl alcohol, when you break it down chemically, has an acid base to it. What happens to your skin when you pour acid on it, Jim?
Yeah.
It burns.
Sure.
It does genetic damage in your body. You cannot see it. Chromosomal damage. Kids don't know this. Why do you think we have so many alcoholics on this planet, folks? It's because of the generations upon generations are damaging their body and passing genetic damage on to their children. Very simple.
We are going to continue our discussion with Dutch Savage. If you have any questions, give us a call. We'll be right back. Our guest this morning is Mr. Dutch Savage, a former Portland wrestler. He's a man with a message, and he's talking about drug and alcohol abuse, and the reason he's an expert is because he's been there. Now, just to get off the subject of drugs and alcohol, I understand that you have a hero in Portland.
Yes, I do.
And you do an imitation of this hero.
Yes, I do. And I won't do it on air this morning for fear of embarrassing. Ladies and gentlemen, my hero on this entire planet, on this earth, is Jim Bosley. And my mommy made cookies today. My wife Willa made cookies for Jim. He has some right here. He smurfed one down pretty quick.
Tell him what's in this. These are...
Well, it's a chocolate chip cookie with Danish walnuts in it and some pecans, and they're very soft.
It is so, they're so good.
Very
addicting. Thank your wife.
Very addicting.
Oh, yeah?
Yes, sir.
The way to Jim's heart is definitely
Yeah,
what you
you've
just did right there. He's you're his hero now. Hi, what's your name? Where are you from?
I'm Gladys Shelton. I'm from Elam Lutheran Church at Hawkinson. I understand you're a born-again Christian. Do you take this message into the classrooms with you?
Well, I am a born-again Christian. As much as I'd like to in the public school system, I cannot because of the laws. We don't preach Jesus Christ and Him crucified in the classroom. You just can't do that. It's church and state separation. We know that. The reason the program is so successful, not only the people that we have like Ricky Lee or Dr. Curtis Hesse or a few of the other people in it, Carrie Irwin, is we have a boss that goes around with us and he clears the way before we get there. I think his name is Jesus Christ. You remember him, don't you? But we don't say that to the people.
Thank you.
Good morning, you're on AM Northwest.
Hi, this is Ruby from Portland. I am a big wrestling fan, and I wanted to know, in your own experience, how guilty was the medical profession of helping to promote your drug abuse, and do you know how abused chloral hydrate is?
It's abused somewhat, and it's not a major problem. But let's get back to the doctors, the medical profession. Folks, please, for heaven's sake, don't blame the doctors or the medical profession for the use of drugs on this planet. They know you better than you know yourself. They know how much you weigh, what your temperature is, your heartbeat, what your body can physically stand, what kind of drug you can stand without ruining your body. It's not the doctor's fault that people do drugs on this planet. Drugs were designed to help people, not to harm them. People harm people, folks. It's not a doctor's problem. It's not a law problem. Drugs on this planet, I'm going to go over it again, is a people problem. If you're doing cocaine, if you're doing marijuana, if you're smoking, if you're drinking heavily, take a look in the mirror. There's the problem. It's not the guy that's selling you this stuff. You're the person that's either buying or using. If you choose to quit and you're psychologically strong enough, you can do it.
Okay, we have to go. There is a magazine that Listen puts out. It's called Listen. And this new issue that's out talks about crack, and it talks about the myths and the menace. Crack is a new drug. Wrong. It isn't. Crack is a pure drug. And all these questions. Anyway, we're going to give you a telephone number for the Listen program. Call for more information. Talk about maybe subscribing to this. Make a donation. Dutch is doing a great job. How many times did you wrestle Tony Bourne? Tough Tony Bourne.
Oh, that little runt. He, a few times he had enough of me. You see, Tony is only about 5'1". He has 17 foot of mouth, so, yeah.
Did you just...
He's Paul Lindman's hero, you understand?
Yeah, I know.
It shows you what kind of class Lindman has,
I know,
right?
Lindman is just, he just has Tony out all the time, 2 at 4. Maybe we are going to have to get something. You say he's a runt and a big mouth.
He is, yes.
Okay, we'll see what Tony has to say on 2 at 4 the next time he comes on. Dutch, thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations for your work. Thank you,
God
wife,
bless
for the
you.
wonderful cookies. I'm going to have another one now, folks.